So here's the deal. I'm one of those cats that doesn't take any side. I remain neutral. Years ago, I promoted the Grand Neutrality when it came to the Middle East. Don't side with Israel and don't side with the Arabs. It's either Jews or Arabs, Jews or Muslims, Israelis or Islamic civilization. It's always that black and white side taking that is getting us deeper and deeper into the problem. And that's what they want us to do. If it's somebody from Israel taking the Jewish side, whining and whining and whining, and if you listen to it, you may be apt to take that side. You may be coerced somehow through that kind of psyop. It's a psychological operation. They will gain someone to their side. And then the reverse is true, vice versa. The Arabic world, Palestinians, whining and whining and whining and whining, and then someone's going to look at it, some liberal or some compassionate person, some anti-Semite, so-called, is going to jump to that side and they're going to gain somebody. But I advocate, I promote, I declare that we should have a grand neutrality. So I think that's understood, what I'm saying. Now, when it comes to doing this all across the board, because the Middle East is really not the center. The center is wherever you are. And when you live somewhere, when you call somewhere home, when you have a region, which is the greatest thing for being on the planet, is to be welcome somewhere, to feel like you have roots, to feel like you can go back to your familiars, your family, to where you're comfortable and you have some memories. Then you want to be able to localize your neutrality there. You don't want to take any side. So, I keep saying so. This is not scripted, you can tell. If I ever go out and make a video, and I'm saying with an angry delivery, my mood seems to be rage, and I'm telling you to take a side, then you can be sure that I'm doing something satirical, a parody. It's emotionally drama, the drama tube. And you can't take it totally serious. I'm just showing you by this illustration of rage that obviously it can't be the solution. When you read between the lines, and overall, what I'm trying to say is that there's only a solution in you getting your head straight and being neutral, and you can only give your loyalty to a future where you exist and everybody around you in harmony. How do we get there? Okay. Here's another pointer that I'm going to give out right now, and I want to see if people will discuss this. I believe there's dividing lines that are happening, and the rate at which it happens, this divide, this schism, this abyss between two parties, is going to decide how quickly we come to the end, some of us, or how quickly the rest of us is set free from this horrible paradigm. So the dividing lines is this: the government versus the people. And when I say the people, I mean These are just the ones who are not employed by the government. It's just a simple definition. So it's defined upon the fact of and the awareness of what is the government. So that's an interesting premise, because the people are not really defined until you have a clearly existing government. So government is anyone who's employed directly by the state, whether they call themselves elected by democratic process or whatever. So the government, and I hope some government people are watching this. I really hope so. So you can see what I'm talking about. I'm taking an omniscient, neutral view. This is as serious as I can get. When government becomes so formed, so established, and in the truest sense of this word, crystallized, with a hard structure and very clear-cut structure, when the government reaches that point, then they have divided themselves from the people. And when the people are around this structure, and they obviously don't belong to the structure, they're not a part of it, then there's going to be a problem. Then you have the thing that you have to define as tyranny and dictators and so on and so forth, and prophetic type of things. It's the beast. It's the system of the matrix, the machine, the cold-hearted bureaucracy. So here's another way of looking at it. I mean, you can say it's a solution, but I can just say it's a enlightenment to where you're getting closer to the truth. You only need to get closer to the truth so that the other thing just dissolves away from you. You're keeping it away from you, and you're not feeding it. Let others feed it, you know. Don't be the one that feeds this ravenous monster. The truths will show you that you don't have to take a side in this. You don't have to identify with the people, and you don't have to identify with the government. Okay? And that's going to be your spiritual practice. Now, as I said, I hope that the people looking at this who are the so-called government or government employees will step back out of this Halloween costume, out of this delusional mentality, and say, I'm not the government. I'm a being. I'm a being. And that might be what I happen to do as work, but it really has no place in reality. And when you're the people, I hope you step out of that too and realize, like, you ain't the people. You're just a being that has your own concerns. You got to do an individual thing. You got to save yourself. And you can't be looking around for a problem with the government. You see, it's when these two sides get really, really hardcore against themselves, really, so that they're so different that they're going to fight. And that's what everybody's paranoia is about. Everyone is paranoid. Right now, that's the main story of the news. And the news, of course, the higher up you go, the more money is behind it, and the more it's getting broadcast to millions, even billions of locations, then you know that media is being used by the government. And then you have media like myself, who's only going out to a few people, and others like government agents and stuff, and just random people that might find it. It's only trickling out to specialized places. This is a form of media, the YouTube, which is of the people. okay? Because it's just spread out on the bottom instead of being the top of the pyramid. It's just spread out, so it's a tool of the people. So I have to use that. Unfortunately, I'm not telling you that I'm relating with the people, because I'm not. I am not. I don't know what I would do with the people if I inherited the people after a struggle. I don't know what I would do with them. Just like with the government, I don't know what I would do with them. I ain't going to employ them. I'm not going to be a part of that paradigm. I want to coexist in the future in a harmonious way with other beings such as myself, and we're going to make this planet into a very nice place. So with this neutrality, I just want to wipe away the whole thing that's going on. I'm washing my hands of it. I am not playing that game. Thanks for listening.